Another great football team coming in here. Great challenge for us. Got to get on track. Tough start. We've dug ourselves a hole, and now we got to dig ourselves out of it. A lot of football up ahead, and got to take it one day at a time, as the old cliche would say. So, take any questions you have.
Kirk, when you lose 2 close games, you're 0-2, and you have 7 turnovers.
Yeah.
Do you feel better about your team, or do you feel worse?
I don't know. I know that's kind of the message, right? We're 0-2. We're -6 in turnover margin. If you had told me after 2 weeks we'll be -6, I would tell you we'd be 0-2. So don't really have to look at much else. That pretty much tells the story. That being said, we're in those games. It's come down to the last couple plays, and there's something encouraging to take from that, but only so much. At some point, the bottom line is you got to win.
Do you know Justin Herbert at all, and whether you know him or not, what do you think of his game?
I've only crossed paths with him playing the Chargers and at the Pro Bowl, and fun to watch. There's guys that even my wife will make the comment, like I'll come home from work on a Thursday and there's a Thursday night game or a Sunday night game, let's say after a game, and she'll say, "Oh, it's Rodgers versus Brady. This will be a good one tonight." And I'm like, "Well, it's the Packers versus the Patriots," but I hear what you're saying. And Herbert's one of those guys where you kind of say, "Oh, he's playing tonight. That'll be fun." You'll get to see great arm talent and ability and explosive offense, and that his skill guys, they know the ball could be coming their way at any time, and that's the kind of quarterback you want to be. And I think we take pride in being here as an explosive group that can make a lot of plays, and anybody can help us. And I think the Chargers have been that way as well.
For years, we've heard offensive players and coaches talk about balance. Got to be balanced. Is that obsolete, or kind of how do you summarize that whole notion? You got to be balanced on offense.
I think it's complex. I think that there's certainly benefits to pounding the rock, running the football, and the success you have doing that can be a major help to a team, to an offense, for reasons you guys all know. So, that's certainly a way you can win, but there's also other ways you can win. And I think, as long as they're playing football, there'll be a variety of ways to go about it.
It might be behind the curve. Does the hat have a meaning?
This is Alex Madison's brand. Yep. So the rule, I've said this a couple of times before with the DePaula's bagels and brunch and stuff, but again, you gave me the chance to step through the door. I'm going to step through it. So anybody on this team who has a cause or a business or anything, and they make apparel, it's team issued. So this is team issued, just like I'm wearing Vikings gear. And I made that rule myself. Kevin didn't make that rule, but I made sure it's widespread enough now that everybody does it. So we're repping brunch joints. We're repping Alex's brand. We used to rep, Dalvin's Chef brand, Thielen's Foundation. Trying to get as much pub as we can. Maybe you can help us, Jim.
What do you charge?
Oh no, this is on the house. I guess I charge some big time runs, some broken tackles. I get a front row seat to watch Alex run. I know how hard it is, so there's no charge.
What do you have to do to kind of get more from the running game?
We can't be down 27-7. If we could be up 27-7, I think we'll get more from our running game. So, and guess what that goes back to? Turnovers. So if we can protect the football, we put ourselves in a much better position to do a lot of different things. We talk about situational football, right? So 3rd down, red zone, 2-minute. Well, if you look at those phases of football, we'd be a lot better if we hadn't turned the ball over in those phases of football. We had 3rd down turnover, a red zone interception, a 2-minute interception. So it all kind of goes back to the same thing, and it's fixable, which goes back to having hope. When it's fixable, there's times where you sit there and you go, this issue isn't fixable, and that's not a good feeling. But in this case, you say, hey, we can fix this, but it remains to be seen if we will. We got to go do it.
You guys led a pretty charmed existence for a while last year. You pulled out a lot of games, 13-4. Like, how is this locker room responding, I guess, to being on the other side of those so far right now, going forward?
Well, this league, we've been on the other side of them too, going back to 21. I mean, how many 2-minute losses did we have at the end of the game? Stuff where you're like, you got to be kidding me. So we've also been on the horrible side of them for years. And then, yes, I think we course corrected or corrected statistically last year, probably got back to even. And so now we've tasted the challenges of when, some of the breaks aren't going your way, but some of them aren't even breaks. It's just we got to play better. And so it's a small sample size right now with 2 weeks, and as the sample size grows, we've got to course correct.
Kirk, with Justin and the numbers he's put up so far, he's only had to make a couple of kind of spectacular catches. I guess what's sort of allowed him to have opportunities despite the fact that everybody knows that, the ball's going to go to him?
Yeah, I think that's coaches. I think that's, their game plans, their schemes, moving him around, route tree, giving him enough of a route tree where it's difficult to defend. And then it's obviously his ability, right? I mean, at some point, he's got to go make a play. And he made some catches the other night. I mean, I will always say among many traits, the trait that I think might be his best is he's pretty fearless. He catches the ball when people are all around him. And there's a lot of, guys get alligator arms and they hear footsteps, and that's just not him. He runs through it. With how good he is, I'm not trying to put him in those situations where he's getting hit and having to hear footsteps a lot. But when he does, he tends to make the play, hold on to the ball, and that's a great thing to see. As I told him after the game, I told him on a couple plays, how they were great plays, and he said, "Hey man, you put the ball there. It's my job to go catch it." So he also sets a high standard for himself that if it's in my general area, shame on me if I don't catch it.
Speaking of your wife's intrigue about quarterback matchups,
My wife gets a lot of hype here at these press conferences as of late, but go ahead.
do you get excited when you play a talented quarterback? I know different side of the ball.
Yeah,
all that,
certainly.
so.
Certainly. I think it's such a quarterback-driven sport now that, and that's reflected in so many ways that you're certainly aware, of who the opposing quarterback is, what they're capable of, what responsibility they're going to shoulder, and so then there's certainly a respect, really, for every pro quarterback because you understand how hard it is and what you do. But someone like Justin has done it at a high level, and so there's a lot of respect there.
Did she say Kirk Cousins last Thursday?
What a great question. John Gruden, I go down and sit with him every offseason that he wasn't coaching and talk ball and learn from him. And he used to make the comment, he said, "I want to say to my wife, Cindy, get in here, Cousins is on. That's what I want it to be." And he was kind of challenging me to say, go play at a level that I sit there on a Thursday night or a Sunday afternoon and I say, "Cindy, get in here, Cousins is on." And that's the kind of motivational thing that I love to hear. And so you hope, you hope your own wife wants to watch you, but you hope the state of Minnesota, you hope the state of Minnesota is saying that from their kitchen, get in here, Justin's on, Cousins is on, TJ's on, Kevin's calling plays, that's what you want.
Kirk, I know you've been in the league long enough that this probably happens every week maybe for you, but with the potential of Eric Kendricks coming back this week, I know he's on injury report, but just what it would be like to go against him on the other side after being with him? It's
a strange feeling. Just so many battles alongside him. Lockers were near each other, which led to some great discussions about football, about life, going through all the stuff we went through with COVID and the social justice issues that were hitting close to home for us here in Minnesota. It's about more than just football. And I always joked with him and with the team. I said, when my boys wear a jersey, I want them wearing a Kendricks jersey. When we go to the team store and get our jerseys. So that's what I thought of Eric as a player and as a person, as a leader. And, you don't like the fact that he's on the other side of the ball. You like the fact that he's on your team.
Kirk, is it strange for you, or does it mean something when you keep climbing, Vikings lists of touchdown passes or starts or whatever it is?
Well, I think staying healthy is a big part of that, right? I mean, it's hard to do if you're not on the field, and if you are on the field, because it's difficult to stay on the field. This league, NFL, is not for long. And so if you can stay out there, you put yourself in a position, and that's why I went and wanted to hire Chad Cook, because I thought, I want to separate myself with the ability to stay on the field, and there's a lot you can't control. I think a deal like what Rodgers went through is kind of a freak deal, but to the degree you can stay on the field and feel good, it can lead to some great football, and so that's what's really a big focus of mine is being out there for my team, my teammates.
I know it's only been a few weeks, but has the work with Chad kind of produced what you?
Yeah, I wish I'd done it earlier. I'm an improver, so I'm always thinking how I could do better. So I'm kicking myself that I didn't hire him sooner, because it's been such a positive thing now, 7-8 weeks in, and my advice to a Herbert would be don't get to the point at 30, 33, 34 where everything hurts, and then you do it. The best way to stay well is to stay well, and not let it go south first. So, that would be my lesson I've learned. All righty. Thanks, guys.